Only contribute up to your match, not one dime more. In this episode, I'm going to address the question, should I participate in an employer-matched 401k? Maybe, maybe not. Listen, and I'll share why and help you understand maybe up to the matched amount, but perhaps not. So my name's Doug Andrew, and I've been a financial strategist and a retirement planning specialist now for 4.5 decades. And so when people ask me this question, should I participate in a 401k plan at work because my employer is offering a match? Now, a match would mean that if you put in maybe 6% of your income, they'll match 50 cents on the dollar, another 3%. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, right? Well, hold on, I'm going to share with you what it really is, and it may be good. But when people ask me that question, I'll usually say, well, maybe, depending upon the rate of return and how well the 401k is being managed, but I would only contribute up to the match, and I would redirect anything over and above that to something far superior to a 401k. And people go, whoa. Well, you're going to understand why I believe this, because I've seen way too many people in America outlive their money when they followed the herd and put money in traditional IRAs and 401ks, even if the employer was matching, and then they didn't see it coming at the end of the day when they retired. So let me share with you the wake-up call that they would get even if their employer matched the money, and this will help you decide whether or not you should participate up to the match or beyond. So first of all, let's make sure that you understand what a qualified plan like an IRA or 401k involves. See, IRAs, 401ks, 457s, 403bs, pensions, profit-sharing plans, these are what we call qualified plans. Now, qualified with who? The government. In other words, it means generally with a traditional qualified plan like an IRA or 401k, you get to contribute the money with pre-tax dollars, or you get to deduct what you contribute. That would be an IRA. So you get to use tax advantage contributions. It accumulates tax deferred, but then when you go to withdraw money in retirement, now you have to pay tax. Well, the premise for that was, you'll likely be in a lower bracket when you retire, because that's what it was like 30 years ago. But that has not been true or axiomatic for more than 25 years now. People who accumulate any type of a respectable retirement nest egg usually find themselves in as higher bracket as they were in during their earning years if they're savers. See, most people save enough money to be able to equal or exceed the lifestyle they had while they were earning. The only people I've seen that are in lower tax brackets when they retire are those that didn't save very much. So there are those people. But if you're a saver and you have a 401k, you can put in that money, but beware, you're going to have to pay tax on the back end. Now, this is where employers offer a match. Oh, well, if you put in 6%, we want to encourage you to do this in the company's 401k, so we'll match 50 cents on the dollar. So you put in 6%, they'll put in an additional 3%, and people go, ooh, I'm getting a 50% rate of return. No, you're not. You're starting out with 50% more. You're getting whatever rate of return you're going to get. I hope it's at least better than 6 or 7 or 8%. Most IRAs or 401ks only earn about 3.5%. Did you know that? Let's analyze this. When you get vested, that means when you've worked there long enough or you retire, you're vested. That means you can now take money out of the 401k. Let's say you were vested immediately. You contribute $1. Your employer matches 50 cents. You got $1.50 working for you, right? Let's say you're immediately vested and you pull out that $1.50. Well, a third of it goes out the window in taxes. So you really only netted the amount you put in. So if an employer matches 50 cents on the dollar, that's nice. They're sort of trying to cover your future tax liability that you're going to owe on that money. Because if that $1.50 doubles to $3, if it keeps growing, you're going to have to pay 33% on whatever it's worth when you take it out. The government has a permanent tax lien on your IRAs and 401ks. So it might be okay to get a match. Some employers might match 100%, dollar for dollar. You put in 6, they put in 6. Wow, that's nice. But oftentimes you're allowed to set aside like 15% of your income or a certain dollar amount. You wouldn't believe how many people that come to me and they're putting in 12 or 15% and they're only being matched on the first 6. And I go, why are you doing that? And they go, well, isn't that prudent? Isn't that wise? And I go, no, if you really understood the impact on the back end, I would only put in as much as you're getting matched and redirect every dime over that to something that's going to be tax-free at the end of the day. Oh, you mean a Roth? Nope. A Roth is a step in the right direction. Something way better than a Roth. And they go, okay, I'm listening. Are you? Here we go. So if this is beginning to intrigue you, I would recommend you share this with other people who may gain insights into opportunities that they may not know exist. And you're about to hear one here in just a moment. But click like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell so you'll be notified every time I post an in-depth answer to a financial question like this one, okay? So when we think about it, if most people who save money are not in a lower tax bracket when they retire, why would you want to continue to add to that problem? Why would you continue to put in as much as you can and have it grow tax deferred and then pull out your money down the road when most Americans agree that taxes will likely be higher and you will have probably killed a lot of your deductions along the way? You paid off your house, you don't have those deductions. The kids are now gone, so you can't deduct them anymore. In retirement, you're not contributing money to IRAs and 401ks. You don't have those deductions. If you were a business owner, you don't have those deductions. And Congress keeps raising taxes because of irresponsible government spending and the printing of money. My heavens. So why don't you redirect it to something that's going to be tax-free on the back end? Now, people say, you're talking about a Roth. Well, yeah, a Roth was actually passed in 1997, Senator Roth. He realized that a lot of smart people who were savers, they weren't in lower brackets when they retired. And he said, you know what? They're beginning to realize it's just better to pay tax on the money you're contributing, use after-tax dollars and have it grow tax-free and then take it out tax-free. Because if taxes go up, I can prove to you mathematically, with the same amount of money, you'll have 25, 33%, sometimes 50% more net spendable income, or your income will last longer with the same amount of money in a Roth than with a traditional IRA or 401k when taxes go up, okay? But I've never owned an IRA or 401k or a Roth IRA or 401k because what I use is far better. It's like 300% better than a Roth. And it's what I call the laser fund. You can have one too, and you'll realize, why would I put in any more than I'm being matched in my company 401k? If I put in 6, they'll match 3%, but I want to put in the other 9% into something that's far superior to the company's 401k. Are you beginning to get it? And you'll be way ahead at the end of the day. In fact, there are many people who give up and they don't even want the match because their 401k is being managed so lousy that they're not earning a good rate of return or they've been losing money. So they don't even take the match because it doesn't make any difference. It's so poor in its performance. You need to judge that. But let me share with you how you can learn more and what's better than putting money into a Roth IRA or 401k. So my favorite vehicle, savvy CPAs and tax attorneys call the rich man's Roth. And I snicker because you don't have to be rich to put your money in this. You could put in $500 a month. But see, if you make too much money, if you're what, they call you rich, you can't even participate in a Roth. Did you know that? If you make too much money, you cannot own a Roth. So that's why a lot of savvy people who have the money, this is where they put their money because they can't even own a Roth. This is called the Laser Fund. Now, laser, L-A-S-E-R, is an acronym that I've used for years that stands for Liquid Asset Safely Earning Returns. The Laser Fund is actually a properly structured, maximum funded indexed universal life insurance contract where I have earned average returns of 8.2% for 45 years. But for the last 25 years, with indexing, which is a strategy in the Laser Fund, and rebalancing, another strategy, I've been able to earn a little over 10% net tax-free. And it'll knock the socks off of a Roth. Roths have two benefits. You fund them with after-tax dollars. They accumulate tax-free. You can take it out tax-free. The Laser Fund has had those two benefits for over a century, grandfathered as a sacred tax-free cash cow for over 100 years in the Internal Revenue Code sections 72E, 7702, and 101A. If you like to learn more about those, they're in this book that I want to gift you here in just a moment. But see, the Laser Fund has 4 additional benefits. I can put in a whole bunch of money if I want. I don't have to put in anything. You cannot do that with a Roth. You're limited to a certain dollar amount or a certain percent of your income. If I contribute to a Roth and I need money back out of it in less than 5 years or 59 and a half, there's a penalty. I can put in $300,000 into the Laser Fund and 30 days later pull out $250,000. There's no penalty by the IRS for doing that. But I can use indexing with the Laser Fund. This is a strategy where I make money when the economy is going up, but I don't lose when it goes down. And that's where you need protection in retirement. And at the end of the day, when I die, anything in my Laser Funds blossoms in value. What does that mean? If I died right now, every million would blossom to about 2.5 million and transfer tax-free to my spouse, my kids, my grandkids. There's not a Roth around that will do that. Are you curious? If you want to learn more about how to diversify and create the foundation for a tax-free retirement, where I would recommend you put every dime over and above what you're being matched with your company 401k, investigate the Laser Fund. So click below, claim your free copy. Go to laserfund.com, click on the button below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll pay for the book, and you begin to learn what you can do better than following the herd, putting money in traditional IRAs or 401ks, hoping that you won't outlive your money at the end of the day.